Today we have a look at the curious incident of the creaky desk chair. Anyway, we shall have a look at this pen. It was lent to me by Sinister Peter, my left-handed friend, who appeared in a video. He went on a trip to Italy, lucky bastard, and he went to all kinds of fountain pen shops, luckier bastard, and he found a pen that I think is very attractive. The SCRIBO, remember that stands for Scrittura Bolognese. I have reviewed another one of their pens that was quite a while ago, but I have reviewed that, this company is run by people who used to work for Omas, right? And then Omas went under. It took them a little bit of time, I suppose, to collect themselves, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but to set up, and now they have their own company, which is really neat. So here we have one of their pens. This is the Feel model, and I think it is very nice. It has a lot of things going for it. It has facets. It has it's a larger pen. It's a piston-filled pen. It has an 18-karat nib in Omas style. It has an ebonite feed. I like this. There is a lot going for this pen. So I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, do a writing sample, I'll tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Let's get started. Okay, so the SCRIBO Feel. This, I do not have the box, right? Peter just lent me the pen, and I don't need the box either. It does come with a nice leather sleeve and also a cloth to polish the pen. So just so you know, you do get that when you buy it. Here you see the pen next to a Lamy Safari, and I think we can all agree this is a larger pen. Now, there's a couple of things I really like about this pen. One thing is that it has facets, which looks really cool, and they are slightly curved, so you have a very nice curvature in this pen, which I think visually makes it very appealing. There is a blue-black version with rhodium trim, and then there is a gray and blue version with ruthenium trims. And the nibs are 18-karat gold. They have an ebonite feel, I'll show you that in just a second, and they range from extra fine through broad. It is also a piston filler, and that's pretty much all there is to it. The price for the pen listed on the SCRIBO website is 650 euros. It is turned by hand from a solid rod, so it is in principle a handmade pen. I'll come back to the price. Here we have the very nice SCRIBO logo, a little leaf. Then we have the clip. The clip is very nicely curved, which makes it very usable. It is a clip that I feel like I would be able to bend, so I'm a little careful with that. We have a center band that says SCRIBO, and on the other side it says, I can't read that around my tripod, Feel the writing. Yeah, hence SCRIBO Feel, I suppose. Barrel, very nice curvature, tapers down, piston turning knob, and another ring. The pen, or the cap, every time I say the pen, I want to say the cap, unscrews, right? Section, nice and long, a little bit of a step down from the barrel, but I don't find it sharp, and the section is so long that you can hold it very comfortably without even feeling that step down. As you can see, my finger here doesn't even touch that part of the pen. My thumb does, but it doesn't feel sharp or unpleasant. Then we have the nib, 18-karat gold, which again says Feel the writing. It also says SCRIBO, it says 18K and 750 for the gold content. And if you've ever held an Omas pen, then you can see that this is a very, very, very similar shape to the Omas nibs, but I think that's because, if I remember correctly, they have the machine that makes those nibs, but I could be wrong. There's also an ebonite feed, which is also very Omas reminiscent, right? You have another metal ring there. The section itself is faceted, but in a way that's, in my mind, a very comfortable and pleasant way to hold this pen. And I think it is very, very pleasant to use. As to posting, not possible, but again, it's already quite a large pen, I would say, and as I said, section comfortable and pleasant to hold. Now, let's see if we can do a writing sample. We zoom out a little bit there. So here we have, I'll come back to the nib. Das SCRIBO feel. The ink is Robert Oster. Peter taught me this. A quick check. Blue, yes. Blue, water, ice. And the nib is an 18K. Broad. Okay, so what was I going to say about the nib? You see it skipped again there. I think it is a great nib because once it writes incredibly pleasantly. However, I've also found that this nib is a little stubby and has a small sweet spot. And if you hold your pen in an odd way, as I tend to do, you may struggle a bit with finding that sweet spot. Let's do some fast writing. However, have you found it? As I'm trying to demonstrate here, then even with exceptionally fast writing, which I don't think anyone would ever do, there's no skipping. It's just that you need to get that initial alignment right of nib to paper, and then you're home free. That was maybe a bit too fast, I don't know, but in any case, you're pretty much home free. And the pen writes very pleasantly. The nib is very smooth, it's very pleasant. I haven't really checked if it's over polished. That could be part of the issue. I have the feeling it's just more a rotation issue. Wetness, yeah, beautiful. It's a lovely wet nib, very, very pleasant to use. Line variation, as always, very careful. You can probably squeeze out a little bit, but especially given that this is not my pen, I'd be even more careful than usual. So there is that. And as I said, the pen already has a little bit of a stub-like nature to begin with. So you already get a bit of line variation just in the normal writing. And the final thing, reverse writing. This again shows the stubbiness of this nib. Often reverse writing brings it out even more. But you see it is possible, and the pen writes, and you get a thinner line for sure. So there's a lot of options. We just need to discuss a couple of things. So, let's get cracking. Okay, what do I think, what do I like, what do I not like, I should say, about this SCRIBO feel? Well, I think it has a lot of really nice aspects to it. I think it's a very nice shape. It's not yet another black black cigar shaped pen with gold trims or anything. It is different. It has the facets. It has this nice slightly bulbous structure which I think makes it look very attractive. The bulbs are not too big, so it doesn't become really weird looking. I find it quite nice and a very attractive, elegant looking pen. It's also a larger size, which I appreciate. It's not a pocket pen or a small pen. It's bigger, and it's, in my mind, it's very comfortable, especially with that larger section. That really does make a difference. I think the price is not unreasonable. I know that it is a lot. 650 euros is definitely not a cheap pen. But you have to look at what you are getting for that price, and there are certain factors in this pen that will contribute to that price, such as zoals Fred van Boeschoten. Such as an 18-karat gold nib, an ebonite feed, a piston-filled pen, a pen handmade in Italy. These are all things, even though it is, as far as I can tell, not a limited edition, these are all things that will contribute to the price. Whether you think that is fair doesn't really matter. The matter is that the makers of the pen set that price. Given what I've seen in a lot of pens, and given that it has all these little tick marks, I think this is what you could expect to pay for a pen like this. And I also think it writes very nicely. As I said, one of the issues I have is that the nib seems to have what appears to me to be a small sweet spot. That may be because of the way I hold pens. I sometimes have that issue with nibs that are a bit stubby. I haven't heard Peter complain about it, and he's left-handed. So if he can make this pen write properly for him, it's very likely that it's me, right? I don't necessarily think the nib is over-polished, but I would have to really check that under a loupe. It is a very smooth writer. So there is that for me sweet spot issue. Beyond that, I think it's very pretty. I also think that whatever it is, a nibmeister would be able to finish it. And then there will be people who say, yeah, but if I pay 650 euros for a pen, it had better write. Yeah, correct. And I absolutely agree that would be great. So would world peace, right? So, yeah, there are certain things that I have come to expect in the fountain pen world. One is that a nib often needs tuning to be perfectly to your liking. It's how it is. And we can have long discussions about it, but I've already rambled long enough. I think this is a beautiful pen. I think it's a great pen. I think it's a comfortable pen. I don't have much to complain about. Yeah, it's on the pricier side of things, but there are many components in it that, in my mind, kind of warrant that. And even if they don't warrant it as to the absolute cost of the materials, that is what you would expect in a luxury higher-end fountain pen. You would expect to pay for those things, and that's what you do, and that's it. Or you don't, of course, and then you just don't buy it, and that's perfectly fine too. I hope this was useful. A very kind thank you to Peter for lending me this pen. I shall take good care of it until I see you again. I hope this was useful, and I'm glad to see you later. Bye-bye.